All right, everybody, welcome here to the Slenderized Weight Loss webinar with Dr. Alan Organ and myself. And basically, the question we've got for you is, how would you like to be able to reach the weight that you have in your mind that's ideal for you? And be able to look down at the scales and see a number that that you've had in your mind. And we all do. We all know kind of what our ideal weight is and what we want to weigh and those kinds of things. And so, you know, what would it be worth to you to be able to look down at the scales and actually see that number? And when we talk about ideal weight, we're not talking about a number on an insurance chart or anything like that, because I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember Bo Jackson, who played both pro football and pro baseball. Bo was less than probably 2% body fat, and yet on those insurance guidelines, Bo was obese because of his body mass. So I don't put a lot of stock in those kinds of numbers. We want to get something that's ideal for you. And so what you're going to learn is you're going to learn how I lost 73 pounds in less than a year, and basically went from a guy who was barely able to tie my shoelaces at 56 to a guy who now steps on the ice once a week and plays hockey at 58 against guys that are 20 and 30 years younger than I am. And so that's going to be through the Slenderized Weight Loss Program from RX. And you're going to see, as we walk through this, how to utilize the Slenderized program to achieve that weight loss goal that you've got in mind. So the 5 keys to the Slenderized program: it's an all-natural homeopathic liquid drop system. You're going to be eating real food that's going to sustain you and give you energy. You're not going to be eating things out of a plastic bag or a box or anything like that. It requires no prepackaged foods. You're not going to have to deal with shots or surgery or any of that kind of stuff. And you will learn as you go through this program how to eat and never regain the weight that you've lost again, because you're going to be eating real food. This is literally the kind of food that you're going to be looking at eating on this program. And a lot of people that get on the program can't believe, you know, what it is that they're actually allowed to eat. So just in a way of, we're going to introduce ourselves first, and I'm Richard Norris. I've spent 35 years in education at the secondary, post-secondary levels. I'm currently the director of the St. Louis Community College Center for Plant and Life Sciences, bachelor's and master's degree from the University of Missouri Columbia, and a PhD from Texas A&M. I'm an author and a speaker. I am an RX distributor and Slenderized coach, and a very happy customer of the products. Most importantly to me, like I said, I can get on the ice and play hockey at 58. So this is what I looked like 2 years ago at 280 pounds. And in a very short period of time, like I said, less than a year, I was able to actually get on the ice. And in fact, this is a picture at the St. Louis Blues fantasy camp. And the guy right next to me, I'm in the gold sweater. The guy in the gray sweater actually is a professional hockey player who currently plays for the St. Louis Blues. And so now I'm on my own team. Once a week I'm out there actually not only playing, but I can score goals at 58. So it's great, and that's what we want to tell you about today. So now I want to introduce Alan.
Hi, I'm Alan Organ. I'm a pediatrician by trade. I also have a PhD in biology, and my emphasis in graduate school was on physiology and cellular biology. I have an MD, not from the University of Kansas, that's my PhD. I have my MD from the University of Missouri, where I learned my pediatrics and used my physiology degree. At the University of Kansas, I did my internship, residency, chief residency, and partial fellowship there. I've been an educator for many years, 36 years, starting at graduate school level, teaching undergraduates, and I teach pre-nursing, interns, residents, fellows, and physicians, and recently I started teaching surgical tech students in anatomy. I practiced pediatrics, adolescent medicine, and cystic fibrosis for 35 years. I am also an author, speaker, and a blogger in health and nutrition, and I'm on the RX Wellness Council, which is a council that was formed by RX to help formulate new supplements that would be good for the body. I'm also a distributor, a Slenderized coach, and a speaker for the corporate healthy body calls for RX.
All right, so now we're going to tell you all about the RX Slenderized program and how it works. And we're going to talk about the 3 different phases of the program, and I'm going to turn that over to Alan and let him talk about those phases.
We divide the program into 3 phases. The first phase is the preparation phase. It's simple. It lasts for 2 days. Basically, it's to get you to see what the supplements are and what they do, and to get you from making reservations at McDonald's every night, because that's simply just not good food. So you begin taking the 2 sets of drops, the SlenderX and the Accelerate drops, and you eat normally, but no fast food. During the first phase, it's important to get rid of unwanted toxins in your body. And when I talk about unwanted toxins, recently I talked to a naturopath that I work with, and I was telling her that when I talk to my students and my patients and my friends about detoxing, I tell them you only have to do it once in your lifetime. And I could just see the short hairs on the back of her neck standing up as she got ready to bite my head off. And then I finished it. From the day that you take your first breath to the day that you take your terminal breath, that's the only time you should detox. So that's a whole lifetime. And I base that on the fact that today, if you look at cord bloods on babies that are born all over the United States, there are over 200 toxins that didn't exist before 1942 that are in the cord blood. That's why we have a higher incidence of cancer in children. Some children are born with cancers because mom has not been able to filter out the toxins that gets into the cord blood and gets into the baby. So in that first phase, we use a supplement called RestoreX as a natural detox supplement, and it helps to rid our body in removing toxins. In fact, RestoreX is a Class 1 medical device in Europe because it's so effective. In phase 1, we'll also talk about maintaining proper nutrition levels while reducing caloric intake. Now, lots of diets that are out there on the market that fail. As a matter of fact, 98% of all the diets fail in less than 2 years. They're based on the fact that if you don't take in as many calories as you took in before, you're going to lose weight. And in theory, that really looks good, because the number of calories obtained minus the number of calories born or burned should either be a deficit, so you lose weight, or a surplus, or you gain weight. Instead of saying I've gained a few pounds, I like to say I'm in energy storage mode, where I'm storing all my stuff as fat. Well, we now know that it's just more important than just reducing your calories, because if you go on a starvation diet, some of those diets where you get 500 calories a day, and everything in science is based on 2,000 calories a day. Yeah, you lose a little bit of weight, but then your body gets out of sync and you don't metabolize foods properly. So in phase 1, we will teach you that you're going to be eating 1,250 calories that you supply, but you're also going to be utilizing 500 calories of your own fat, so that you're really on a 1,750 calorie a day diet. You'll learn about taking the RX Optimals, which are the vitamin and nutrient and mineral supplements. They are in the physician's desk reference. They've been certified by a number of independent certifying agencies. So if it says there's 500 milligrams of this in there, every lot has that. And we know exactly what's in there, how fast it dissolves, and you'll see big changes very quickly. Omega Q happens to be the omega-3 fatty acids plus coenzyme Q10. Coenzyme Q10 is important in the last 3 steps of conversion of sugar into energy, and the essential fatty acids are very important. They're basically 2 types. They're the omega-3s and the omega-6s. That's stuff that's in the news all the time. There's also omega-9s, which nobody really knows a whole lot about, and a new one that was discovered called the omega-7s that helps with energy production and stabilizing blood sugars, and it is in the Rejuvenex supplement. So set supplements, you can provide your body with the optimal nutritional levels for proper cell function. And in my research as a physiologist, I know what the cell needs to do. And if you have healthy tissues give you healthy organ systems, and a healthy organism, or organ systems give you a healthy organism, and that's us. So it's important to start at the cellular level out, instead of giving a drug that just masks symptoms until the body either recovers or it doesn't. So phase 1 is an introduction. Phase 2 can last as long as you want. We started on day 3. This is the fat burning phase. So in this phase, we will teach you how to go from a sugar burning phase to fat burning. So when you've heard all these programs that say, close your eyes, go to sleep, you can lose weight. Well, you actually can, and we will show you how in our program. Depending on the desired amount of weight that you want to lose, this can last anywhere from 1 to 6 months. Some people have been on longer. Marcus, Richard and I, Marcus is on the call listening tonight. We all know of a gentleman who weighed 576 pounds who went to a new doctor who basically just told him, you need to go home, fill out your will, take care of all your family affairs because you're going to die within 6 months. And he was depressed, and he found RX, and we got him hooked into a program, and he's lost well over 200 pounds. He's off his oxygen. He's out of his wheelchair. He no longer walks with his walker. He walks with a cane occasionally. And he's off all of his medications. And he went back to the same doctor, and the doctor just didn't even recognize him. So he's been on it for over a year now. And you can stay on this program and burn your excess fat without any problems. So you will learn to continue taking SlenderX and Accelerate, and tracking the foods from an approved food list that we will teach you during one of the early lessons. So again, we will be consuming 1,250 calories each day, and we will start drinking 8 to 10 8-ounce glasses of purified water. And when I'm talking about purified water, I'm not talking about those cheap things that you can buy in the store that you fill up a container and then pour it quickly through a filter, and it takes out 99.9% of all the bacteria and all the waste. Well, 99.9% is the same as drinking the same number of bacteria that would give a person a bladder infection in each drop of water. I don't know about you, but I don't want to do that. The purified water also helps us flush out the toxins that are released during the weight loss, because toxins are stored naturally in fat. So if we have excess fat and we start burning it, the toxins are going to end up in our bloodstream. So the more water we drink, especially purified water, the more toxins are delivered to either our liver or our kidneys, where they're processed and removed, and that helps. So we will talk to you about considering using a purity water filter, where I know Richard and I go nowhere without our filters. You can actually dip it into a toilet and get pure water out of it. I have been known to demonstrate by pouring a Coca-Cola into it and then getting pure water out of it. No sugar, no carbonation, no color, nothing but pure water. So that's in phase 2. When you've reached your weight goal, and we'll help you figure out what you want to do. When I talk to people, I say, how much weight do you want to lose? And my lady friends are kind of embarrassed. They'll say, oh, 20, 25 pounds. I go, no. How much do you really want to lose? Well, maybe 40 pounds. I said, how much would it take to lose so that your significant other can't take their eyes off of you? I want to lose 50 pounds. Well, we can do that. It's not hard. I lost 50 pounds during 2 trials on SlenderX. And for Marcus, who's listening to the call, he and his wife, I devised a Napa Valley wine diet. They live in a wonderful area in California called Napa Valley, and Marcus has vineyards on 3 sides of his house, and on the 4th side is a beautiful lake that he sails on, or boats on.
And I need a copy of that diet.
We'll have Marcus stay on the line later. But between he and his wife, Sandra, they lost 90 pounds on the SlenderX diet, and they still continue to drink wine. So it's not a hard diet, folks, to follow, and you feel good. But, you know, I'm a skeptic. When I first started it, I weighed myself the first day out. And you're not supposed to do that because your body's going, you know, you're not doing anything except not going to McDonald's. And you're beginning to learn what the diet is and learn how to take the supplements. And, you know, I felt good, but I've been on some of the supplements before I even started on the SlenderX program. And I thought, yeah, just for grins, I probably gained 2 or 3 pounds because I was beginning to eat more than I thought I should be eating. And I actually lost 2.5 pounds the first day. So it'll happen. Now, phase 3 is that phase where you reach your goals and we go into a maintenance phase, which will be for the rest of your life, or however long you want to go before you decide if you want to lose some more weight. Some of us have gone on holidays and eaten too much and gained a few pounds and found that as soon as we got back to our hometowns and started back on the phase 2, the weight came off very quickly and has stayed off. So we will gradually add limited glycemic products back into our diets if you desire that, or if you don't prefer it, you don't have to. I will tell you that I wasn't a big vegetable eater, and vegetables are great on this program because they're low glycemic. But today, when I go out to a restaurant, the first thing I look is what sides can I get, what vegetables, because I crave the vegetables. But I feel better. It's important to eat to continue eating a balanced diet of fresh, clean foods with regular exercise, and you'll see in the explanation of the acceptable foods, you're not going to be buying beef that has antibiotics, that has hormones in it, because they screw up our own systems. You're gonna, as a matter of fact, I like to tell people when I introduce them in person to this diet, I go, how would you like to have a diet where you're going to lose between 15 and 17 pounds on average per month, eating lobster, shrimp, crab, venison, duck, chicken, organic beef, organic vegetables and fruits? I mean, they look at me like I'm crazy. How can you do that? Well, you can. All of us that have gone through this program are representative of what you can do. So the maintenance phase is a lifestyle change. So we say you have to properly adhere to it, but you know what? You don't want to go back to the old diet when you realize that you don't crave the sugar pops anymore. You don't crave the McDonald's or the fast food. As a matter of fact, it may actually make you feel ill because you're used to eating good food. And when I say good food, I'm talking about nutrient-dense food. So a calorie is not a calorie on this diet. We're looking at calories that have the vitamins, the minerals, the proper nutrients to feed those cells, to make the cells happy, to make our bodies happy.
Yeah, once you've started eating real food, Alan, you try to go back to eating fast food and that kind of stuff, and your body will make you pay for it.
It sure does. It sure does. So that's phase 3. Now, what results are possible with Sunrise? These are all friends of ours. The gentleman that's in the red T-shirt in the middle and the bottom, that's one of our founders of the company, and he really does look like that on the right. And when I was first introduced to RX by Marcus, I met Vern. He's the guy in the lower left, the chubby, not happy guy on the left, and the very happy, thin guy on the right. And we were both standing on stage because we were going through a dress rehearsal for the launch of the company. And I said, all I saw was his fat picture up on the board. I said, who are you? He says, I'm that guy up on the board. I go, no, you're not. He says, yes, I am. Well, Vern lost 67 pounds in 8 weeks. So he lost over 30 pounds a week. And he changed his lifestyle. He no longer wears glasses. He had LASIK. And he's not gained any of it back. He's still as thin as he was. And I think he just celebrated his 24th birthday, I believe, a couple days ago. Lady in the upper left, Lynn Allen. She's a good friend of Richard's, and she's a good friend of mine. She's a sexy, happy grandmother, close to 70 years of age. Look at the transformation in her. And then the guy in the lower right-hand corner, this is the guy I told you about that weighed 576 pounds. So these are people that we know, people that tried this and have lost weight and kept it off.
So now let's talk about the cost, and I'm going to, again, kind of turn this over to Alan because we're going to talk about some different costs before we talk about the cost of the Slenderize program. We're going to talk about the costs of what happens if you don't do something about your weight.
You know, 610,000 people die of heart disease in the United States every year. That's 1 in every 4 deaths. And heart disease, until about a year or two ago, was the #1 disease in Americans. Cancer has passed that now. And we now know that cancer also is a big burden. And part of it is the fact that cancer cells come from inflammation, and inflammation comes from not eating correctly. If you're obese, you have a higher incidence of dying from cancer. You know, 589,000 U.S. residents that die every year, that's 1,600 people a day. That's 1,600 too many people a day. So cancer now is the first leading cause, and heart disease is second. Diabetes. Oh man, diabetes is unbelievable. Estimated cost just in 2012 was $245 billion. It's 5.8% of the population that have diabetes, but we're going to see massive amounts of diabetes in the next 20 years, 30 years. As a matter of fact, it's projected by the Census Bureau that by 2050, the entire Native American population and Alaskan Native population in the U.S. will all have type 2 diabetes. That's a little over 30 years from now, all right? Just going from $69 billion in reduced productivity to $245 billion was a 41% increase over 5 years. It's terrible. But diabetes is a lifestyle. We can fix that. It's now actually considered a medical condition. And the AMA and the FDA say you can't cure obesity. You have to treat it with drugs. But I will tell you, based on what I've seen us do in the last 3 years, we can change and cure a lifestyle and make people healthier. I have to tell you that when I turned 25, I was still in medical school. And I turned to my wife and I said my life is half over. And she just looked at me with a puzzled look, and she says, how can you say that? And I said, well, the reason why I can say that is the fact that my father died at 53 of a heart attack. My grandfather, his father, died at 50 of a heart attack. And just recently, it turns out that my great-grandfather died at 47 of a heart attack. So you can see when I turned 25, looked like gene-wise, I was going to die in 25 years. Well, when I turned 50, I was a little skeptical about getting out of bed. When I turned 53, I didn't get out of bed. And I will be 68 on my next birthday coming up soon, and I don't have any disease. I have been able to cure my lifestyle. I set 3 goals when I went on the program. I wanted to lose enough weight to get off my medications. I wanted to be able to outrun my kids, my adult kids. And I had a 50th high school reunion coming up, and I wanted everybody that I wanted to date that wouldn't date me when I was in high school look and say, oh, I could have had a V8. So I accomplished all those goals, but not only do I outrun my kids, I can outrun my grandkids now. And when I just got back 3 weeks ago for my high school reunion, and there were 2 groups of people there, those that aged very well and those that looked like they were 20 years older than 67 or 68 years of age. I was in the aged very well, and people said, what did you do? And I said, I cured my lifestyle. So I got a chance to talk about it. But, you know, when you're obese, for whatever the reasons, and there are a number of reasons, and we will discuss these in the program, you increase the likelihood of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obstructive sleep apnea, certain types of cancer, osteoarthritis, you know, you name it. Anything that can be linked to inflammation or caused by inflammation can be linked to obesity now. So dieting and exercise are what the FDA and most of the doctors think are main treatments for obesity, and drugs or surgery. But we can certainly fix our quality of our diet, what we eat, by reducing the consumption of energy-dense foods and increasing fiber and increasing the consumption of nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah, and
so with the
and I've heard, you know, I know people, and I know you do too, Alan, who have gone through the gastric bypass or had the shots in the stomach. I have a brother who tried the shots in the stomach, and he said, you know, it was just painful. It was horrible, and he gave up on it. You know, it's just, to me, that it's ridiculous that people have to go through that when there is an alternative.
Well, you know, the shots are based on a hormone that pregnant women make. And the theory is by taking these shots, you will lose weight. Well, I don't see very many women who are pregnant that lose weight. They gain weight. So it seems kind of funny, especially for a man, to take a female pregnant hormone to lose weight when it causes mom to gain weight. So, you know, you have to look at this very carefully, and that's why we doctors have looked at what are the things that, you know, Dr. Oz isn't telling us. What are the things that we don't read on the internet? What are the things our physicians aren't trained in that cause us to gain weight, and what can we do to change it around? I was talking to my students today because they're all surgical tech students. That means that they're going to be in the operating room at all hours. Some of them are going to be on call, and some of them, because of their class schedule and their rotations, are already beginning to pick up extra weight. How all their hormones, not just the sex hormones, but the hormones for growth, the hormones for appetite, hormones for stress, affect our weight. And when we get all of that in control, and that's what the Slenderize weight loss program does, then it's very possible for us to make obesity not the leading preventable cause of death worldwide. And it's not expensive, like spending $18,000 to have a band put around your stomach so that you fool yourself into thinking you're full. Well, why don't you eat the foods that you want that are good for you, and eat? I have people tell me I can't eat 1,750 calories. Yes, you can, once you get used to it. We're so used to eating things that are nutrient depleted, that are high in calories, especially fat calories, that, you know, fat tastes good, sugar tastes good. We're addicted to both of them, but this diet will make you addicted to eating good things that are energy or nutrient dense. So the AMA classified obesity as a disease. So technically, as a physician, I can't tell you I can cure obesity, but I can sure cure your lifestyle, and then the obesity goes away with it.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the actual cost, and we're going to tell you that the retail price for the entire package for a month is $599.93. But because of the program that we've put together here, you're actually going to get that at a wholesale price of $419.95. Same exact price that Alan could get it, or I could get it as distributors. That's the same price that you're going to get it for. So that's a monthly savings of $179.98. But there's a lot more coming with the program that we've put together than just the products. And just to kind of give you a breakdown of how it compares to some of the other more popular weight loss products, you can see Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Atkins, South Beach, and their costs per month run pretty high. And so when you look at the Slenderize program and the fact that you're going to get it for $419.95 plus the shipping and taxes involved, it stacks up very much on a price basis per month to the other systems. In fact, it's actually cheaper than those systems that you're looking at there. And when you look at it at a cost per pound basis, we certainly come in much better than any of those popular weight loss products out there because you're going to lose on an average, and I really calculated these on a very conservative basis because I think you're going to lose a lot more than 10 to 15 pounds in a month in the program. And you're going to get a complete weight loss and health sustaining nutritional supplement system. And that's something you do not get from those other products. And Alan, you can kind of fill in the gaps there.
All right. The other thing that you're going to save is the fact that you're not going to be eating out all the time, or when you do eat out, you're going to find that your portion size is a lot smaller. So your food costs are considerably reduced. When I go to visit my grandchild and my kids in St. Louis, they like to eat out. I'm teaching them to eat in the house, and actually I cook for them, and the food's a lot better. You feel better. I'm taking nutrient dense food. Not all the stuff that I eat is organic. I prefer organic because I don't have to worry about toxins. I don't have to worry about antibiotics. But the food tastes better, and I'm learning to buy from stores that buy produce locally, so that they can sell it and bring it to the stores when the food is ripe and all the nutrients are in it. And when I was growing up in California, my mother used to grow tomatoes, and then to keep the birds from eating them, she'd pick them when they were green and stick them in the window. All of us do that, and they turn red, and when they're red, they're ripe. Well, no. When you stick them in the window, the only difference is they're no longer green. They are nutrient depleted because in the last 72 hours on the vine, when they actually turn red outside, that's when they suck all the nutrients out of the soil and put it in the fruits and the vegetables for us to eat. So I have learned to do that. I also know that in the foods that we eat, especially in the wintertime here in Kansas, we're expecting our first snow for both Richard and me. Richard's in St. Louis on the other side of Missouri. I'm on the western side of Missouri in Kansas City.
Tomorrow night, I know they use the 4-letter S word.
Yeah. Yep. Today was the first day that I didn't dress warm enough because it looked beautiful outside, and I was in a very heavy sweater, but the wind was so cold. So, our bananas aren't going to be ripe. We don't grow them in the wintertime here. Our tomatoes won't be ripe. So what they do is they gas them on the road with a gas that artificially ripens them. So they look pristine when you get them in the store, but they don't taste good. You go to another country, you go to Mexico, or you go to Europe, and you just buy the regular groceries that are local, and they taste different than the stuff that we get at the store. So you're going to find that your food costs are going to go down, and you're going to eat healthier. And anybody who's not on the program that's in your family and you're cooking for yourself, you're not going to cook 2 different meals. They're going to benefit by getting the right nutrients in their food. But sometimes you can't get that especially in the wintertime, from all the foods that you eat. So you have to supplement with the supplements that we're going to recommend. So, and the bottom line is you're going to be better off being on a system that gives you whole food sourced material that gives you the right nutrients so that your cells are healthy.
All right, so we do have a special bonus though for anybody who participates in the program here. Upon completion of 2 months in the program, every participant that completes their second auto ship of the products is going to get something that's basically worth $745. We've arranged for everybody who goes through 2 months of this program to get their very own RX business, just like Alan and I have. And so you can then become a distributor for the products, and not just the Slenderize products, but all of the 5 different product lines. I guess it's 6 now, Alan.
It is 6.
It is
as of
6.
last week.
Yeah. So 6 product lines. You will have your own business, and that's very important, because I can promise you within 2 months of being on this program, people are going to start coming up to you and saying, gosh, what are you doing? Whatever it is, I want to do it. And so at that point, you have a choice. You can send them to Alan and I, and or you can have your own business, and you can actually make the commissions off of those folks that want to get started on the Slenderize program. So, you know, basically what we expect from participants in the program, like I said, a 2-month commitment to use the clinical pack, which is what we showed you the picture of and talked about all the different products, and then follow the meal plan and take all the products as outlined. Take a beginning photo. Again, you're going to be glad you did that, because you're going to be able to then use that to market your business and build your business, and you'll be tickled to death that you did that beginning photo, because 2 months, 3 months down the line, you're going to look at that photo and go, who in the heck is that person? Because I look back at that photo that I showed you at the beginning of this slide series, and I don't really even recognize that person. Weigh in weekly, and we will be having meetings for all of the participants within the group so that you can report your progress. And then Alan has put together a very special program for you, and he has a weight loss workshop that really is going to take you through learning all about why we become obese, and all of the things that you need to know to educate yourself to not only lose the weight and be successful on the Slenderize program, but then to make sure that that weight doesn't come back. And so here are the topics that he's going to be covering, and I'll let him talk to you about those.
I told you that there was a lot more to obesity than just taking in too many calories and not burning enough. So you're going to learn in the first week the different components of the weight loss program, including the supplements and why the supplements are necessary, what they do for the body. So that's more like your orientation. The second week, you're going to learn about food, which foods are better for you, how to identify added sugars and products we normally buy, and how to read the new food labels. Now, it's interesting, because if you put sugar in a food, you have to label it. Well, sugar is usually a major component. So what happens if you put multiple sugars in it in lower amounts, but it still adds up to the same amount as sugar, in quotes? So do you know that maltodextrin, rice bran syrup are other names for glucose, sugar? So you will learn how to read food labels and figure out, is this energy dense or nutrient dense? Nutrient dense being the key word. So in week 2, you will, since I can't take each of you out shopping, which I do with my students when I teach nutrition, final exam, they don't like taking final exams. So if they do proper progress during the year, I take them out grocery shopping and show them what to buy, how to read labels, and whatnot. So that helps. Week 3, people begin to, they lose weight initially and they're real happy, and then they slow down. So why can't we lose weight? So in that module, you will learn why most diets avoid the real reasons we can't lose weight and how we can correct these. Week 4, I'll teach you about the hormones of fat. Dr. Oz's favorite is leptin. Leptin is the feedback to your brains like the thermostat in your house. When you reach the right temperature, the thermostat says turn off the heat or turn off the air conditioning. Well, leptin goes back to the brain and says, I've eaten enough, don't eat anymore. Well, unfortunately, your brain is leptin resistant when you become obese. So you will learn about that. You'll also learn how insulin is not just a blood sugar lowering hormone, but it helps burn, or tells us how to burn fat and where and how to store it. So week 5, inflammation and obesity. I told you that inflammation is probably the root of all evil, so you will learn how inflammation promotes chronic disease and how we can put our bodies back into an anti-inflammatory state. Week 6, water in weight loss. How important is water in weight loss? Well, you already know from the brief discussion in the beginning that water is used to help transport toxins to our livers and our kidneys so we can get rid of them. But usually people that are hungry are not hungry for calories. If they drink a glass of water, the hunger goes away. Sometimes we confuse being hungry and being dehydrated, so we need water. So I will talk about water in weight loss. We'll talk about toxins and obesity. Why, how do we store toxins? Why is it in fat? And what happens during weight loss? And what problems can it cause? And how we can detoxify. There's a physician in Switzerland who spends 9 months there and 3 months in Seattle, Washington, and he's the one that developed the ultimate detox program, natural detox program, and he's been very successful. Our Restorex, which is our detox in a bottle, is basically based on his system, and it really does work. Week 8, stress and sleep and obesity. Sleep's important because when you sleep, you don't eat. And there's some very good scientific evidence, which I will present during the course, that shows that if we intermittently fast, now, what do I mean by intermittently fast? I don't mean that today's Tuesday, so today I don't eat anything. Tomorrow is Friday, I don't eat anything. We can intermittently fast every day. In other words, from the time that you finish dinner till breakfast the next morning, if you're asleep, you're fasting. If you don't snack, you're fasting. And by doing that, you throw your body from a sugar-burning mode into a fat-burning mode. So when I said, yes, Virginia, you can lose weight when you sleep, it's because you become a fat-burning machine while you're resting and rejuvenating your body. You're burning fat for energy and getting rid of that excess stores. Week 9 is fats and oils. You'll learn which oils, including saturated oils, which are important for the body to bring the body back into an anti-inflammatory state, and that will promote weight loss. So when they tell you, you can't eat butter, you can't eat this oil, you can't do this, you're going to find out you really can in moderation and what it does to your body. Week 10 is a module that was put together by one of our partners in the Netherlands. He is a psychologist, so he is looking at the psychology of weight loss. He will teach us the triggers of binge eating and how to keep the weight off after we lose it. The module is not still in development. He just released the videos to me. I will put together the module, so by the time you guys go through it, it'll be there. But that will help us learn how to do that. And then week 11 will be done by some physical trainers that our partner in the Netherlands is working with to talk about the role of exercise in weight management. So again, going back to what most doctors are trained, if you eat less than you burn, you're going to lose weight. We're going to talk about how to keep the body healthy and keep your metabolism revved up with the right kind of exercise. And when I say exercise, I'm not talking about pumping iron 7 days a week. It may be walking. It may be playing a sport. It may be enjoying your grandchildren. There are all types of exercise that will help your body stay in that anti-inflammatory mode and become a fat-burning machine.
Yes, you don't have to get out there and get beat up once a week on a sheet of ice like I do. I just happen to enjoy that. So the final details about the Slenderize coaching program. Coaching will begin next week once everybody's had the opportunity to get their first shipment of the clinical pack in. Again, it's a 2-month commitment on the clinical pack and following the Slenderize plan that's going to be laid out. And one of the things that you need to get across is that you don't lose us after 2 months. Your access is going to continue with us as long as you need it and as long as you're trying to lose weight.
And it's not just on weight loss. If you decide to take us up on our offer to make you a distributor so that you can earn commissions, excuse me, that will pay for your products or pay for trips, vacations, whatever, we're going to be working with you on how to organize your business and do that too.
Yeah, we become partners at that point.
Absolutely.
And we will have a private Facebook page, and you know, even if you finish the program, we certainly want you to keep active in that Facebook page because you can be great mentors to the other people who come in. And then once your business is in place, you'll be able to send anyone who approaches you to one of these webinars, and they will become not only your customers, but if they go through the two-month program, they will become distributors under you as well. So we will continue to help you build your business, just like Alan said. And you know, there's more than just the Slenderize products that you can offer to build this business with too. And so once you're ready, you will have access to the presentations that Alan's put together. We're going to train you on how to do your own webinar like this once you get your business in place. And we'll even help you do them as long as you need us to. But at some point, you're going to get to the point where you're going to say, hey, I don't need you guys anymore, but we can make this presentation available to you and help you tailor it to you and show you how to advertise it and how to build your business. And you will receive training on how to set up your own Slenderize Facebook page, how to market it successfully within the Facebook guidelines, and those kinds of things. So just to kind of give you a recap, if you look at Alan's weight loss educational system, which that says 10 sessions, it's actually 11 sessions. It's easily a $900 to $1,000 value. The Slenderize clinical pack, you're going to save $179.98 a month by getting it at the wholesale price. The weekly coaching, access to the private Facebook page, easily a $200 a month value. Access to mine and Alan's private contact information. You know, you're going to have our phone numbers, be able to pick up the phone and call us and talk to us and you know, kind of pick our brain about things that you're going through. Easily another $100 to $400 a month value depending on, you know, how much you utilize it. And then your own RX business that's going to allow you to be a distributor, not just of Slenderize, but all of the, and like I said, it's now 6 RX brands. That would typically cost you $745 if you wanted to get started. That's going to be yours free. So you're looking at a total value in this package that we've put together of somewhere between $2,124.98 and $2,424.98. And so that's kind of a recap of what you're going to get in the program just by using the products for 2 months and losing weight.
But there's one other value that you have to remember, just like the MasterCard commercials say, after you go through all this value, this value, this value, curing your lifestyle, priceless.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't tell you what it's done, what the difference is between, like I said at the very beginning, not being able to bend over and tie my shoes without being out of breath, and being able to go out and play hockey at 58.
Exactly.
So at this point, if anybody's got any questions, if you want to raise your hand, I can unmute you and you can ask a question. So you just click that little hand button there and raise your hand, or type in the chat box that you want to talk. So I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to unmute everybody, and if somebody's got a question, give us your name, and then I can mute everybody else again. So okay, everybody should be unmuted. Has anybody got a question? I'm not hearing anything. Okay. Who's that? Any questions out there? If not, I'm going to mute everybody back and go to the last slide. Okay. So if you want to get started with us, this is the sign-up page right here. It's healthyweightforever.com. So you would go to this page, and once you get there, just kind of scroll down here, and it says sign me up. I want to lose weight. Click on that link, and that will take you to the sign-up page. And so you fill this out and submit it, and then we will get back in touch with you and help you get your package ordered. And I will also send an email out to everybody, because I've got everybody's email that registered for the webinar. I will send an email out to you with this link in it as well. But it's www.healthyweightforever.com. And then, like I said, click on the link down below that says sign me up, and it will bring you to this page right here. So, Alan, you got any closing thoughts? Do I have Alan muted? Oh, I've got Alan muted. Okay, Alan?
Okay.
Any closing thoughts there?
Yes, thank you for listening to us talk tonight. We look forward to working with you. You know, as I said earlier, I was a big skeptic about this, but I saw what it did to me. I saw what it did to Richard. I saw what it did to my friends. And, you know, I felt really great when I went back to my high school reunion, and people looked at me and wondered what in the world had I done. So I'm looking forward to you all attending the course, and I think you will all enjoy it, especially with the weight loss.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. It was great for you to get on here, and we certainly appreciate you stopping in. All right. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Good night, all.